Yo guys, we are back with another Wild Rift video on this very sketchy setup. I'm still waiting to get my PC back so then I can be back to doing the better quality videos. But I decided to play some Brand because, honestly, playing Brand is just such a fun time. So I was really glad that I was able to get a Brand game. And yeah, and in this matchup, we are against a Vayne Alistar, and I think the cool thing about this is the Blitzcrank, well, the Blitzcrank player drafted Blitzcrank before I picked Brand, and the reason why I decided to go Brand is because Brand has high burst damage. So if Blitzcrank pulls him in, I can follow up really well with Blitzcrank, and that's why I really decided to go Brand. Luckily, our mid laner decided to go an AD champ like Lucian, which is phenomenal. Now, I've been running APs, Gathering Storm on APCs because I don't know if I like want to be running Brutal. So I mean, I run Champion on Ziggs sometimes, but I still don't know what to run on APCs to be honest. But as you can see, I'm poking them out with my W, and right here I wanted to really Q flash Vayne to stun her, but um I wasn't able to because Alistar was in front. And honestly, too, also to admit, these games are kind of late at night, so I'm starting to kind of fall asleep at the wheel here when I'm playing. So like, that's why like that. Obviously, I could have flash stunned the Vayne because the Alistar walked forward, but that we were able to secure 2 kills there, which was pretty crazy. And thank God I got both assists for that, which is really good. And yeah, so one of the most important combos you got to know on Brand. Well, not necessarily combo, but his abilities are very interesting because his abilities change uh when the target, which is could be minions or players or objectives, are ignited already. And I don't mean by ignited, but when they're on fire, when they have flames on them. So the best thing to do in lane is you want to start with your E. And the reason why is your E is basically kind of useless. So you want to mark them with your E. Um, and then you want to use your W. You want to use your W when the target's already marked because it'll do way more damage, like way more damage. And also your Q ability on a marked target will uh stun them, you know? So that's why it's important to use your E first because having using your E on a marked target doesn't give you much value because it's just gonna spread the marks, and you don't necessarily need that earlier on. So right there you see I'm already fishing to mark the Vayne, and boom. I decide to throw in my ult, and these guys are just bouncing right next to each other all the way to their death, and I also got a little explosion onto Vayne. Now the Vayne coming back, that was very risky of her, and she does end up dying for it. But yeah, I think that's one of the most important things to know though with Brand is that little key thing in the laning phase is you want to use your E to mark the enemies first compared to any other ability. Because if you use your Q and they're not marked, it's just gonna it's just gonna be like a little poke. If you use your W, it's not gonna do as much damage. So it's just better to mark them. Now, when you're going into an actual team fight, the best case scenario is being able to use your ult first. Um, Using your ult first is really good because then you could use all of your abilities as empowered abilities, essentially. But sometimes you're not going to be able to do that because you got to hold your ult a little longer to make sure that you get a really high value ultimate, because if there's only one person, then you're not going to ult them. But right here, you see my Pantheon stuns, and what I wanted to do right there is EQ. EQ is a really good way to just lock someone up. So right here, I see the Rengar, boom, we lock him up. I EW rooted, and he was gone. And also I decided to ult right there to try to finish off that Alistar a little quicker, and also got some bounce damage onto the Vayne. Now also when I come to clear waves, you see me E the wave first, because it marks the minions as well, and it allows my W to do more damage than compared to me Wing and then Eing, for example. And so right here, I really wanted to shove the wave, and since I have 1,500 gold, it just makes sense for us to reset, because we also had uh, a pretty big fight right there, and luckily our Olaf was able to get an objective during all that. Now, now we kind of got to set up for the dragon fight, and what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking to root someone and also just getting a bunch of damage off. So right here, I E Alistar, and then I put my W, and boom, I'm just doing so much damage. Now I do have my exhaust, but it's like there's not really anyone to exhaust yet, right? Because I don't see really anyone in their ultimates or anything like that. And so this fight is getting a little awkward. The Jarvan was really low. We finally were able to finish off the Jarvan. And dude, this Vayne just looks so juicy. But she's able to run, man. She's able to run. And I overstayed way too long trying to kill this Vayne. Like, that was so bad. And now this Alistar's out to get me. I just throw out my whole entire kit, bro. At least I was able to get some bounce damage out, but that was really bad overextension for Vayne. And I mean, what can I say? When you're playing late at night, thinking kind of goes out the window. Uh, have you guys ever just done? Dude, I feel like I make a lot of mistakes that are like super obvious mistakes, but like I just can't help myself sometimes. Sometimes I just gotta throw, get it out of my system. But anyways, we're coming back in the fight. Not having brand ultimate for a fight can feel really uncomfortable sometimes, because the brand ultimate is the best thing really in his entire kit, because it does so much damage without the enemy team really knowing what's going on. Right here, I EQ the Jarvan on top of that Pantheon CC, or sorry, not Pantheon CC, but the Blitzcrank CC, and the Jarvan's just gone. Now right here, I'm trying to come into mid. I don't want the Rengar to be getting anything like any turret plates or turret damage while we are taking the objective. And luckily, we got really lucky having Infernal be our first. Right here, you see me trying to spam my E. I'm always trying to spam my E, and dude, this Katarina just literally came out of base to die. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. I guess the Katarina was trying to defend mid, and I think she thought she did a lot more damage than she did, because what she was actually able to do really good there was is she actually dashed over my Q, and my Q would have stunned her. So that was pretty good by her. Now right here, since we got bot turret, I'm switching over to top to help siege for this top turret, right? There's no reason for me to be bot. We already got a turret. And also Blitzcrank can help cover that lane. And so it's just better for me to stack in the top lane and kind of help get this turret. Because what Pantheon can do is Pantheon can CC someone, I can EQ, W, and that person's literally gone. Like, they're going to be gone off the map. And as you can see, the Rengar respects our damage. Like, the Rengar does not even try to defend this at all. But, I mean, now he decides to hop in after the turret. And as you can see, we just do so much damage. I actually ulted Rengar, got a little bit bounces. I Q flash forward. That was actually a little nice sequence. Now the blitz pull went a little too far, but look at that damage I did on that Vayne with just 3 abilities. Like, I'm telling you, Brand's damage is absolutely nuts. Like, dude, that, especially when you get fed on Brand. Now, I think that Brand is obviously really strong APC, but he is just so unique because he's only good in certain situations. Now, the best way to draft Brand is obviously into a comp that has a bunch of melees. And the reason for that is they're going to be stacking up. I mean, you guys could literally see me spamming that E. It's so funny, actually. I'm literally spamming it so hard. But yeah, They have Alistar. They have Jarvan. They have Rengar. They have Katarina. That's 4 melees, guys. 4 melees. And Vayne has really a short attack range. So basically, you could say 5 I'm just kidding. But they have 4 melees, you know? So Brand is really, really strong into this composition because it's so easy for me to get a high value. And so right here, I throw out my ultimate. But we're kind of in a bad spot. And look at how tanky this Rengar is. I forgot to buy... uh the 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 orb which has heal cutting, and I can't believe that I died, bro. I actually can't believe that. I came back to save the freaking Olaf and I ended up dying. Like, that's actually ridiculous. But hey, at least I guess the Olaf lived, and we did basically ace them. So yeah, picking Brand into a lot of melees, fantastic idea. And also, obviously, if you are going to be playing APC Brand, you want to make sure to have an AD mid. You don't want to have a full a full AP team, because that's not very good. And yeah, I think you don't see Brand being played a lot. I feel like I see Brand being played more as a support recently. I feel like I see those support brands. Um, and I think that I guess it makes sense because I feel like, you know, I feel like that's something I would do, bro. Like I would go AP brand support. But usually my go-to support is Senna because I feel like it just makes sense for me. But low-key I could rock brand. Now as you can see right here, I'm in a weird spot because I need to get this heal cutting for Rengar, but I also need to get stasis because if this Rengar hops on me, it's game over. But the reason I'm not in a super rush for stasis is because I do have my exhaust flash, so I know for at least this next upcoming fight, I will be safe. I will be safe from it because I could just flash, I could exhaust and flash and run away. Now, in this game, I mean, we snowballed already pretty hard. I mean, the enemy team only has 9 kills to our 20, so they're kind of turtling right now. They're not trying to really just come running forward at us, because they won't really benefit from doing that. So um, right now they're just trying to farm up and kind of wait for the objectives to spawn. And since we're already set up for this, guys, look, Rengar's hopping on me. I exhaust, flash away. I could have just flashed away. I don't think I needed to exhaust. And right here I come in. I decide to ult the Jarvan, and the Jarvan immediately died. So that was an L. But watch, I'm spamming my E, and then I just stun him and get the kill. So yeah, and that actually reminds me, huge, huge, huge. You do not want to ult someone when they're right about to die, because your ult will literally just disappear. And I've done this in pro play before. Well, I don't know if I actually done it in a tournament, but I played some brand and scrims before, and I've actually lost the team fight because I ulted someone and I got no bounces off my ultimate because the first person died like instantly. Like literally they died as my ult was traveling in the air. So if that happens, the ult will not bounce. And so yeah, that's what you got to be careful. And champions like Yasuo and Yasuo and Braum are your worst enemy for 2 reasons. Yasuo has that wind wall, so it can negate literally all your damage. So when you're fighting against Yasuo, you're gonna need to make sure you keep track of that wind wall. You need to know, oh, did he use it yet? Okay, he used it. Now I can ult. You know, you gotta pay attention for that. And Braum Shield can literally block. I mean, Braum Shield is very obvious. It's obvious. It's gonna block the Brandle and isn't gonna allow for any bounces. So there's certain things like that that could be annoying, but once you're paying attention and really thinking about the enemy's abilities, then you should be fine. So that's why you really want to be picking brand into specific situations. Like, no one can stop my brand ultimate. Right here, look, we just root up the Alistar, and the Alistar is gone now. I'm holding on my ultimate. I'm waiting for the right moment, and I can't really find it yet. And I'm also thinking, since we're sieging, I'm probably going to look to ult here soon. Because I want to make sure we get him low and so that we can keep pushing. So right here, the Vayne comes forward. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to ult you. And the Vayne tumbled right in front of her teammates, so I was able to get some more bounces off. And we were able to get the top turret, the top inhib, so now we're rotating to get the second inhib. And so right here, this is the classic overstay, guys. Watch this. The classic overstay. Like, you got both turrets, you don't need to be here. I'm just trying to back up my team's play. At least I was able to stun the Katarina, but the Katarina is living for way too long, and I was going to flash out. Like, I was getting ready to flash, but dude, the Alistar flashed on top of me, so that's why. I thought the Alistar was going to try to hop onto me with his ability, and I could flash that, but he actually just flashed and knocked me up, which was super tilting. So, classic overstay, guys. Classic overstay. But since we got two inhibitors, it essentially means that we're probably not going to lose this game, because even if they win team fights, they have to deal with these big waves. And right there, look at how much damage uh, each one of those players did to me. But the most interesting part is that they actually do Baron. And yeah, I think it's actually pretty crazy. They get away with doing Baron. Our Pantheon was kind of clueless on it, but it was a pretty sneaky Baron. I will not lie. I was pretty surprised, but Rengar is actually one of the best champions at taking Baron. I mean, the speed at which Rengar can take Baron is actually ridiculous. And I think the craziest part about this game is that this is a Rengar top. This Rengar isn't even jungle. The Jarvan's the jungler. Which is pretty interesting, because you would assume that Jarvan would go top and you would have Rengar jungle, but nah. That is not the case this game. I don't really tend to see a lot of Rengar's top these days. But yeah, I think Rengar is in a decent spot in the meta too right now. I feel like he used to be really broken at one point. And like whoever got Rengar was just an instant dub. I forgot what patch it was. But it was actually during the championship I played in, and during that meta, Rengar was just so broken. Literally, whoever had Rengar, it just felt like they would instantly win. But right here, the Brand ultimate was doing so much damage. And right here, I go to exhaust this Vayne, but man, the Vayne does so much damage, and we actually ended up losing this team fight because, I mean, our Pantheon wasn't in the fight, and also they have Baron buff stats. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe we lost that team fight. Like we are so ahead, but Baron stats I guess are pretty crazy. They are pretty crazy. So yeah. They make that little comeback fight. And right here I was like, wait, are we actually gonna lose this game? No way, right? No way. Like, we literally have two inhibs. Impossible. And we also have two dragons. I totally forgot about that. Like, we have two dragons. Sadly, they are kind of... I thought that they would actually try to do the third dragon, but right here, Olaf makes a very smart decision and solos the dragon. And this is really good because once you have three dragons, you have basically three all three of your dragons are going to be 3 times stronger because of how many dragons you have. So having 3 dragons is really beneficial. And so we're walking back to kind of the mid lane, and we're looking to cheese. And guys, look at this little cheese. All right, the Rengar is going to start walking, and the Lucian and Blitz capitalize on it. Boom. Boom, the Rengar dies. And I just ult Vayne because I'm like, I want this Vayne to die. And the bounces straight up kill Vayne. Like, guys, the bounces straight up killed Vayne. And right here, I'm spamming my EQ to try to root the Alistar, but the wave came in time. But yeah, and literally, the Rengar was like, bruh, these campers, like, in Spanish, you know. But anyways, guys, a quick little dub, man. Quick little dub. I was trying to see if I could get the Jarvan, but... Like, and also this Nexus has a problem with me. Like, damn, leave me alone. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts on brand APC in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.